For those out that don't know, I was a cop. And
Who don't know
I
that?
was actually pretty fucking good at it. But let me tell y'all what
Okay.
stop and frisk is, because I need for y'all to know. Because see, part of what our problem is we don't know shit and we keep misquoting things because we don't want to read shit. We just keep depending on Facebook and people who are not in that profession to tell us so. And let me just tell you the basics behind. Y'all know what stop and frisk is? You know, the one they complain about it, they profiling blacks to do it. Do y'all know the basics for stop and frisk? You know, and they say, oh, they just stopping black people for no reason and doing this and doing that. Well, and I ain't saying it ain't happening. Know your rights. Know your rights. A stop and frisk by law for you to be, for the police to stop you and frisk you. Understand this. Police never have the automatic right to stop you and do anything. Ever, never. Ever, never. For police to stop you officially. Officially. This means this is when you don't have a choice. He's got to tell you why. He has to tell you why he stops you. See, if you out on the street and you run across the officer, he said, hey, young lady, how you doing? If you speak or don't, you ain't committed no crime. Them your choices. That's when we're playing officer friendly. You can do whatever you want to do. When he says, young lady, I need to talk to you, your first statement should be, what? Why?
Mm-hmm.
If he can't tell you why, you keep moving. He has got to be able to give you an articulable legal reason to stop you. If he says, hey, we just heard that a store down the street got robbed by a guy who had dreadlocks. Now you may have an alibi, but at that moment when he give you something to fit your description, you want to listen to that because he can still be lying because you can go back and check that later. But when he tell you that, he has a right to stop you to ask you questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first part of a stop. They have to think that you either committed a crime or about to commit a crime or in the process of planning to commit a crime. They can't just stop you because you're walking on the street, not legally. And this is what you got to understand. And depending on what the crime is this where the frisk comes in. Now, I just used one where they said somebody looked like you robbed the place.
Mm-hmm.
See, if the crime is robbery, I can frisk him for that reason. Understand what a frisk is. A frisk, by its legal definition, is a pat down of the person's outer garments, looking for a weapon, not looking for anything else. So if it ain't a gun or a knife, the police can't do nothing about it. And they can't make you open your coat. They can't make you take off your shoes. They can't do none of that. That's a search. So we need to understand the difference. Once he starts searching you, all you need to do is pay attention. The search is illegal. If he searched you, he should be arresting you. Anytime you arrest somebody, you can search them. Unless he asks you, hey, do you mind if I search you? Here's another little caveat.
What happens when you say no?
Here's the caveat. The law says I'm supposed to tell you that you can tell me no. If I don't tell you this, the search becomes illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have to let you know. Because you could theoretically be intimidated by me. Mm-hmm. And this is where we let our ignorance get in the way of us and we start saying, because you never, ever have to let anybody search you. Ever, never. Once you're going to jail, guess what? You don't have the right to say never, no way. Right. Because you're already going to jail. But if they ask you, you don't have to go for that. Well, if you was guilty, if you was innocent, you wouldn't mind. You're right. But anyway, what's your point? Hey, if I was rich, I wouldn't be walking the street no way.
Manipulation that gets done on those occasions or on those stops. So I'm glad that you're making us aware of those certain things that they can't do. I want to know what happens when we start beefing off our rights and stuff like that, and they keep going further. How will we be able to prove it later? Because it's my belief the cops can get away with a whole lot.
Yeah. I'm waving guys. That's
gay. Oh God, listen to him.
She started waving at guys. We know guys don't wave at guys. She making me look like.
Listen.
But don't get mad. You say hi to your people that's coming to support you. Don't get mad about it.
Wait. Anyway, but yeah, and the thing is, and this is why I tell people it's so important to pay attention. And you know, everybody want to film stuff, but don't fuss with them. Just sit there and ask them questions. Ask them. If you ever get pulled over by the state troopers, and they're the best at this. State troopers always do one thing. They come to the car, they introduce themselves, they even tell you who they work for, and they tell you why they stopped you. Police will ask you, do you know why I stopped you? That's a trick. It's a trick. They can't ask you that, legally speaking. But let me stick with the stop and frisk first. When I tell you why I'm stopping you, it's got to be a legal reason. I can't just stop you because I want to talk to you. I got to give you a legal, articulable. I got to be able to explain to you why I'm stopping you. I can't say because I'm wearing polyester, because I'm the one with the badge and the gun, which is what a lot of them do. And you already know they borderline right then, over the line.
Yeah, that's my point.
So when they're doing it, and sometimes this is where we have to accept some of the things that we do. Sometimes we put ourselves in bad situations. Sometimes you just got to go with it. It's still illegal, but what do you do? How do you get past that illegality? Hopefully you got witnesses. But if not, don't be afraid to file a report, because understand this: if he did it, he should be filing a report too. So if I stop somebody, if I did a stop and frisk on somebody, that's a police citizen encounter of a legal nature. I should be writing something. And if I didn't, see, now I got to make up stuff. And police ain't no different than nobody else. When somebody make a complaint and the police don't have now he got to start making up stuff. And he looks more suspicious. And don't get me wrong, the first time that may never happen. Because most time, I will be honest, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But when we see it becomes a pattern, because bad cops have patterns of behavior. But without that first report, it never gets logged in. And that's why I keep telling people, don't think